Thank God for Newsmax, folks, because if it wasn't for conservative media outlets like Newsmax, we wouldn't know what to be afraid of on any given day. And this week, Newsmax host, former disgraced Fox News host Eric Bolling, told us the latest thing that we have to be afraid of, and that is, of course, in his own words, the twerking epidemic. Here in the United States, there is a twerking epidemic. And I don't want to put any words in his mouth, so here's Eric Bolling warning us about this twerking epidemic apparently coming to a city near you. Take a look.
Remember the Democrat Rhode Island state senator twerking upside down and posting it to TikTok? This is apparently the Democrats' best, but really, what all of this highlights is a generation of attention-hungry children who never grew up. And under Joe Biden, the woke mob left is in charge, and they're making America a laughingstock. Look at this. A parent forcing her child, who appears not to want any part of it, forcing him to watch radical LGBT activists. That's right, you guessed it. Twerk during Pride celebrations. What's with the twerk thing? Not only is this the moral decay in America, but there's clearly a twerking epidemic, and the left-wing mob is doing everything they can to keep the twerking going and corrupt our nation's youth. That's how they can radically transform America, folks. That's what they want to do, deprive children of their innocence, destroy the family unit.
Yep, it's the twerking. That is where the kids are going wrong. And of course, you've got the one video of the kid who clearly didn't want to be in the parade. And I got to tell you, especially as a parent of 4, that's probably the first kid that didn't ever want to be where the parents made them go, ever, right? I mean, everybody who's out there as parents know that your kids always behave and always want to go where you take them, right? We've never seen behavior like that in that video from a child ever. It's clearly because of the twerking. Look, I've had kids do that to me when I'm taking them to Disney World. I don't want to be here anymore. It's hot. I'm tired. Yeah, we have no idea what the context was of that kid not wanting to be a part of watching that parade in the hot, hot summer sun. So good try there, Bolling, but as usual, swing and a miss. And the twerking epidemic, right? As we all know, twerking is a dance move, I guess the best way to describe it. But his outrage here, his moral condemnation of twerking is similar to all of the moral condemnations of all of the different pop culture things that have happened for hundreds of years in this country alone. I mean, when the Charleston came out, they thought it was the devil's dance. Okay, the Charleston of all things, right? That was the twerking of the day. And people freaked out over that. They freaked out over dance halls. They freaked out over country line dancing. They freaked out over the Macarena. They freaked out over rap music when that became super popular here in this country. They freaked out over rock and roll. They freaked out over alternative. They freaked out about MTV and, oh, you got the booty dancers on there. My God, there is nothing these Puritans are not going to freak out about. Hell, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, there were freakouts, and you could read about this. This is amazing. They were worried that children were reading too much. Again, hundreds of years ago, back over in Europe, they were worried that books were corrupting our children. They weren't going outside and playing enough because they were just too busy reading. Similar to the arguments of parents today, oh, they're spending too much dang time on their phones and iPads and video game boxes. And here's Eric Bolling on Newsmax, basically doing the same thing. Oh, we're forcing the twerking. And it's some kind of course, liberal conspiracy to get kids twerking instead of, I don't know what, going to church. This is idiotic. But it's the same stupidity that we have seen as a species for hundreds of years. You freak out over whatever you can to try to deflect from the fact that maybe kids are kind of crappy today because the parents are crappy. And maybe the parents are crappy because we live in a society that forces them to be crappy, saying that you can't make enough money to survive unless we send both parents to work. So you're not there to watch your kids. You have to send them to daycare. You have to send them to latchkey. You have to do whatever it is. So the parents aren't there because that's what society demands. Then society castigates those parents and attacks the children when we don't have the same model families that we had back during the days of segregation, which, yeah, that was happening at that time too, when Republicans say the American family was great. No, it wasn't. They were going to separate schools because they didn't want to see dark-skinned people. They believed they were inferior. And Eric Bolling is apparently pining for those good old days, maybe not pining, obviously, for segregation, but definitely pining for the days when women stayed home and raised the children and we had the great nuclear family, and by God, there wasn't a single twerker to be found. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share, but again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.